You finally got it figured out. We hot. All right.
We live. Y'all can hear us?
Yeah. Mic check.
All right, y'all. Better late than never. You know the good saying. You know how it goes, man. How we feeling today? Chat. Let us know how you guys are feeling. What's up with everybody up here?
Better never late.
Better never late.
What's up with y'all, man? Yeah, y'all ready to do this whole Miami Heat thing?
Let's do it.
Word on the streets, and one of these guys brought this to my attention, is that we late because we waiting for them to do this damn trade. But hey,
since we're on the subject of trades, I got a question for the panel. I just heard that Donovan Mitchell is not going to sign an extension in Cleveland, and I think he wants to be in New York. I think he always wanted to be in New York. Why do these teams hold on to these guys knowing that they're not signing extensions with the possible risk of losing them?
I think Cleveland, at least in the case of Donovan Mitchell, I'm pretty sure Cleveland is like, they want to at least try to convince him, or at least they wanted to, I guess, until the news came out. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Maybe they just found out when we found out, or maybe they knew not too long ago. But I mean, how much do you really think you can get for him? Like a guy like Donovan Mitchell, if you know he's an expiring contract, if it just came out within the last 2 weeks, he's not going to re-sign. I mean, if you're the Knicks, are you gonna trade for him knowing he wants to be there? No. If you're another team, are you gonna trade whatever assets you have or whatever players you have, role players you have now, gut your team to get a guy like Donovan Mitchell for just this year, knowing he's not trying to sign an extension? No. So you're kind of stuck.
Now, do you risk the possibility of, even though he quote unquote wants to be in New York, Paul George wanted to be in Los Angeles. The Lakers didn't trade for him, and he ended up with the Clippers. Do you risk the possibility of him ended up playing in Brooklyn?
If you're the Knicks, I would risk it.
I would too.
But if I'm Cleveland,
no, go ahead.
Go ahead. If I'm Cleveland, I might consider trading him to a contender right now and getting back what I can. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you go to a contender, he's gonna play. You know what I mean? So so a contending team, they might be comfortable with taking him on right now because they're like, he'll come and play this year and maybe we can win a championship. And then if he leaves, then he leaves. But at least you get something for him if you're Cleveland.
But he's already on a contending team now, though. I think they're a top 3 seed in the East. I think they're Eastern Conference contender now.
I believe so too, in like as a projection. But they're you never know how other teams perceive it. Like, Damo, you said like what team would I think of? Mm-hmm. Probably the Bucks or something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe Philly. They're trying to capitalize on Joel right now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe go get
Trey Harden. Harden don't want to be there. I mean, that is a situation. I was thinking the Celtics with Brogdon and a combination, probably some other things. Brogdon don't want to be there. So maybe if you got 2 disgruntled people, or if you're a team that's also with a player in a disgruntled situation, maybe you entertain it for just this year because it's worth it. That makes sense.
Here's the difference, though, Damo. You talking like they just gonna hand him over? Like Boston's gonna have to give up a haul for Donovan Mitchell. They ain't giving up a bucket of extra crispy for it and a 6-pack for him. Cleveland's not having that. If they're gonna move on,
if you know you're gonna lose him though, to a town like if you know he's gonna sign to the Knicks, I would call Rob Pelinka. I'm like, y'all want Donovan? I mean, you got to capitalize on Brown last couple seasons. I'll call Rob Pelinka like, give me Austin Reeves, something like that. And I'm gonna ask for Austin. I'm not saying I'm gonna get Austin, but I'm asking for him though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you guys don't think the Lakers will do that, even if it's a 1-year rental?
They would.
Check it out. Damo. Here's why though. Here's why.
Win it, Damo. To win it.
So the Lakers,
here's the thing.
You can convince him to stay.
Yeah, that's the big thing. So he comes to LA. Obviously, he's playing with Bron and AD. Builds up some camaraderie with AD. Y'all go deep in the playoffs. Let's say you guys possibly win. Let's just say best case scenario. Bron probably got 1 more year, but AD still got, a long time to go. So he has a bunch of years to contend with AD, who's one of the best players in the NBA. Furthermore, you're in LA. You know the Lakers are always all in, so you're gonna actually be able to contend. You step outside, it's always warm weather, beautiful women, always a good time. You in Hollywood. You don't think that's enough to convince him to be like, you know what, I want to be in New York, but these palm trees and sunshine is just too good to be true.
I think in terms of getting Donovan Mitchell to LA, I'm not against it. I'm a stifler. I would much rather give up as little as possible to get him. And I know how toxic. And people are saying, "Oh, I just seen somebody. Oh, Laker fans love to overrate Austin Reeves." It's not about overrating Austin Reeves. We have Austin Reeves on a great deal. I don't think that it would be smart to try to trade Reeves and Rui, somebody said, for Donovan Mitchell, just for him to come out here and the lights in LA be too bright and he gets scapegoated and he just leaves in the offseason. That makes no sense. If he comes over there, you can sell him on, oh, you get to play with AD all you want. But if every time he has a bad shot, Buddy genuinely is going to be ridiculed, unlike any other situation he's been in, I don't think I feel like personally, if I'm going to get ridiculed, let me get ridiculed where I want to be ridiculed at. Let me go back home and get ridiculed because I'm from New York. I'm used to that. My uncle used to play for his dad in high school. He is from New York. He would be used to that. He knows the New York media. That LA Bron media out there is not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart. I promise you. And I don't know.
You don't think Donovan Mitchell? Go ahead.
I'm just saying, I don't know if Donovan Mitchell is cut from a cloth that's going to be able to deal with the LA media constantly making things that's not his fault. Oh, AD hurt and LeBron missing shots. Well, if D Mitch wasn't going 6 for 18, the Lakers will be ready. Every player can't deal with that. It takes a special type of player to deal with that.
Chad, I promise you we're not going to turn this to an LA show. But who do you think?
Is that an instant championship?
I mean, I would say so. I would assume. Assuming everybody's healthy, I would say so. But again, we're assuming health. I don't know what the health of the Lakers is going to look like. That's all we've been doing this whole offseason, assuming health. Yeah, if everybody healthy, yeah, cool. But if AD get hurt, then what? I don't think LeBron and Donovan Mitchell is going to be enough to win a chip.
No,
honestly,
that's not going to be enough.
I don't think that's going to be enough.
And
they had Donovan Mitchell on their team last year. They probably wouldn't.
Oh, we win. If we had him last year,
if y'all got Donovan Mitchell last year, y'all probably win the championship.
But
he underperformed in the playoffs in Cleveland. He underperformed in the playoffs in Cleveland and got ridiculed for that. Well, that's going to get turned up times 10 in New York, especially considering who beat them.
Now, if Cleveland has AD last year, as opposed to a young Evan Mobley, they probably beat New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
if Cleveland had
AD instead of Jared Allen or instead of Evan Mobley, they probably beat New York.
That's fair, but he got to Cleveland to push them over the top. That's why because that young crew was already on their way. They were a playing team. They were going to make the playoffs this season last season before Donovan Mitchell shows up. Donovan Mitchell shows up. Now they're a top 5 seed. Now they got that 1 year under their belt. I think that they move into a top 3 seed this season. But we got a situation with Donovan Mitchell where he's not re-signing now. Is he not re-signing because he could possibly make more money in Cleveland if he doesn't re-sign right away? Or is he not re-signing because he wants to be in New York? That's the $1 million question. Because what we do is we get not re-signing wrapped up in a guy's not re-signing, so let's trade him. It could be for different reasons. Jimmy Butler didn't. I think Jimmy Butler didn't sign that contract extension in Miami early because he could make more money later. That doesn't mean that he didn't want to be there. It just meant that, I can make more money later on. So does it mean that he's trying to make more money? Because if it doesn't mean he's trying to make more money, there's no reason to hold on to him. Because I've seen this way too many times. We're talking about Giannis not re-signing in Milwaukee. Giannis not re-signing in Milwaukee. That doesn't mean he comes off the books after next year. He's still under contract after next season. This season coming up, he's still under contract after the season. That doesn't mean if he doesn't sign this contract extension, which he's eligible for in December, if he doesn't sign that, then next year he's gone. No, that doesn't mean that. He's still under contract. The question is when these guys say that they're not going to resign and you put them in a position where now you strap, because a guy like Donovan Mitchell now holds all the cards because he only got 1 year left on his deal, so to speak. And now any team that trades for him knows that, one, either he resigns with us or we're risking what Toronto did with Kawhi Leonard. We're risking 1 year. And if we get this 1 year where we can win it, it's worth it. But if we don't, was it worth it?
Right.
Do y'all think Brooklyn trade for him?
I don't think he stays in Brooklyn. I don't think he stays in. Well, he might. I don't know.
Think he's in New York. That's New York. KD and Kyrie wanted to go to the Knicks. The Knicks messed that up. Where did they go? Brooklyn. They were still in New York. So I mean, if I'm D Mitch, you don't have to. If the Brooklyn doesn't have, I mean, again, you have to have a good package. But if you keep your at least a couple of the guys from your young core that you want to keep, as long as you don't trade, I would say Markelle. I would say Nick Claxton.
The problem that I think the issue that I'm having with this Donovan Mitchell trade possibly is we got to find out what his contract situation is first. Does he come off the books after next year? I mean, there's a reason why. Don't get me wrong. He signed an extension in Utah. Now this season coming up, does he? Let me find out if he comes off the books what his contract situation looks like. Because if his contract situation looks like this season, he's done. Right. So he's still got 2 more years left on his deal. Next year, he doesn't have to sign a contract extension. He's still got 2 more years left on his deal. He got this year and he got next year, and he got a player option in 25-26. So Cleveland still has time.
Oh yeah,
right. Cleveland still. It's not like he comes off the books after next year or after the season. Cleveland still got time. He still got 2 more years left on his deal. So the question is how does Cleveland handle this? Do they move off of him? Do they move off of him, or do they stick with him?
You try to win as much as you can this season. You try to, obviously you're trying to win, but you damn near kind of go even more all in this year than you would. Like you try to get to that conference finals at least. That I think that's their only hope, is showing that you have a promising future here.
Yeah, but that's all I was saying. If it was a situation where like they had to move off of Donovan in order to get something for him, I think the best move I would try to send him to a contender, because a contender would be more willing to risk the last couple years of his contract. And I'm sure a team like the Lakers or even the Clippers feel like, oh, we can convince him to stay here. Like, we're not worried about him going to New York. Whereas Cleveland in free agency, unless like how you said, Chettown, he's holding out because he knows he can get a better deal from Cleveland. If it's not that, then it's highly unlikely that he sticks around if he really wants to be in a city like New York. Like if it's about where you are, you're not going to stay in Cleveland if you want to be in New York. So that's the only reason I look at it that way.
I mean, I understand guys want to. I mean, at the end of the day, this is their job, and comfortability and where you stay, it has something to impact that. But if I'm Donovan Mitchell, after leaving a situation like the Utah Jazz, I don't know why you would be like, yo, get me out of Cleveland. I want to go to New York.
Right. Wouldn't that be a better situation that he in, Donovan?
Yeah, I feel like Cleveland is a great situation for basketball. I mean, again, so it has to end. They led with he wants to go to New York. This is a whole thing about living, like what he wants to do. This is outside of basketball. This is outside of work.
Right.
I guess he's feeling like he can play basketball wherever he feel comfortable, and he feel comfortable in New York. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, bro, you can go to New York in the summertime, bro. Like, you don't gotta live there all year round. Like, you can visit whenever buy a house there, go there whenever you want, and you're not playing. I promise you, it's fine.
He does still live there. Grande Jones just said he's from Connecticut. Actually, Grande, he's not. He's from Westchester County in New York. His father worked for the Mets. That's where he grew up at.
I'm gonna say he is from my uncle was in Spring Valley, New York. That's where I was at. At Spring Valley High School. His dad coached my uncle. My uncle was showing me pictures and stuff like that. He used to see Donovan when he was little, trying to throw up hoops with the big kids. Like he's from New York, gang.
He's from
so if you're Cleveland, do you let's say you monitor the situation and you see it's real sticky at the beginning of this year, and you see Donovan really don't want to be here. Like, he's going out there, he's playing for us, he's actually doing good, he's performing, producing, but he really doesn't want to be here. Do you get off him this year, or do you still wait a whole nother year to try to convince him until next trade deadline?
I think his value is higher. I think his value is a little bit higher this year, because next year teams are going to be more reluctant to trade for him, considering this year's deal. It's the last year of his deal. So if he was playing this year and he was playing at a high level, that means that I probably could get the most value for him right now, because he's still got another year left on his deal. If I try to hold on to him next year and then try to move off of him by the trade deadline, I'm probably going to get nothing for him, because he holds all the cards. because he holds all the cards, and teams are going to be more reluctant to trade for him because more than likely he's not staying in Dallas. He's not staying in Toronto. He's not staying in Atlanta. He's not staying there.
Man, we've seen this all too many times. Obviously, Kyrie situations, KD. We could go down a long list of superstars that if asked out, it didn't get traded, and then just left during the trade deadline, or waited till that very last minute and pressured the team just to get him out of there. You could even see even the situation with Dame right now. I would like Portland's not liking this situation because they're not going to get back the compensation they want. I'm getting up off. I'm gonna talk to him, but I'm gonna get up off of Donovan quick, and
Fast.
I'm trying to get back the biggest package I can, and it's like, yo, Damo, don't do this, man.
Focus, Damo.
I didn't say nothing. I ain't say nothing.
Please focus.
I was laughing at chat. Someone said chill is basically skips from regular show. That's what I was laughing at. I don't know. What are we?
Okay, it's crazy that these dudes, like, they come up here. All they come up here to do is just pick fun at me. And to be honest, if my skin wasn't
chill. Somebody else is getting roasted in the chat right now. That's on this panel. It
bother me because I'm really not that old. I'm 100% confident.
I'm not even confident. They show love. I'm not even getting roasted.
I'm 100% confident. The majority of you guys, I'm not
man.
older than your parents. The majority of y'all, I'm not older than your mother or your father. The majority of y'all that's in
Cap,
here. So
cap.
Mars, I'm not older than your father.
I promise you are. I promise you are.
Me and your father around the same age.
You older than my father. Substantially. But okay.
Shay, Mars
chill, you gotta understand, like Mars is look at Mars' age. You gotta
right. Mars like around 20 years old, something like that.
No. Mars is a protege. He's really Mars, I can tell him your age.
Sure.
Mars is really 14, y'all.
Okay, well then all right, that makes sense. All right, then
yeah, you are older than both my parents.
All right, that's fair.
By a while.
Yo, but imagine
so I'm more like I'm more like your uncle though, Mars. More than like your father, brother. I ain't that much older than him. Right. Okay, Mars, let me ask you a question. Am I 10 years older than your father?
What year were you born?
I was born the year the Knicks won the NBA championship. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm at least 10 years older than your father.
Yes.
All right, so I'm your uncle. That's all I am. Because me and your father could be brothers.
Or grandparent or well.
No, I ain't that old.
Okay. Imagine that though. Like speaking on like the Donovan Mitchell, like so I don't know exactly what the circumstances, but just I can't imagine being on a team with Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, Jared Allen, like a young team, and then let's say they are a top 3 seed in the East, and then wanting to leave because I don't want to live here because I want to live in New York. Like, what if I'm signing contracts like that? I'll go play down in Montgomery for all I give a. You know what I'm saying? I'll play in Little Rock.
Here's also the thing though too, Ox. You got to also look at it on the other perspective too. It's like it's not like he's leaving there and going to the Wizards. The Knicks and the Brooklyn, if you ask me, they got something promising going on in the future. You go over to the Knicks, it's Jalen Brunson.
In New York?
No. Look at that. I'm talking about the rosters. First off, the Knicks went to the second round last year, but then you get over there with Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and that crew.
Darius
I mean, that's
Darius Garland's better than
I'm not saying that the Cavaliers are better than the Knicks, even though the Knicks beat them last year. I'm just saying, if you look over there, I get to go home, then I get to go play with that roster. Also, you go across the bridge and you go to Brooklyn. It's like me and Mikhail
on top of that, Ron,
8 years.
That's a sucker move from Donovan Mitchell.
Evan Mobley is better than everybody.
I think it is too. To be honest with you,
I agree.
Darius Garland is just as good, if not better, than everybody else you named.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that the team is better. I'm saying I get to go over there and play with them and be home.
I understand, but that's what I'm trying to get to. The being home thing. Like, nigga, you going home. Cleveland, that's an hour and a half flight. Like, you right there. You could drive home once. Like, it's literally right there. Like, It's airplanes. Like you got to. I hate that about, especially when you got that type of money. You worrying about where you live. Like
the world
like
is a
bro,
lot
you
smaller.
know the world is this big. Like
the
all
world
it
is a lot
takes is
smaller.
you go to the airport, you get on the plane, and then you don't do anything. You just sit there for a couple minutes, and then you get off the plane, and you're somewhere else. Like the world is this big. So especially
that's
when
how you got that ensemble.
I want to be.
In that Mexico jersey in the back.
Hey, shout out to China Jack. If you know China Jack, you know. But shout out to Shane.
James B, you stay cracking on people too, James B. What's your credit score, James B? How long have you been able to hold down a job, James B? How about that? You stay cracking on people, James B. Right?
Say that credit score, gang.
James B, send a super chat to prove you got it financially.
Right.
Send a super chat.
Give me a break, yo. You stay cracking on people.
Wait, so are we not going to talk about? Go ahead.
Super chat your credit score 500, James.
This dude stay cracking on people. Don't have a 401k. If he couldn't work no more, he'd be in trouble. But stay cracking on people. What kind of job you holding down, Goofy?
Prove him wrong, James B. Prove him wrong.
Yeah, give me a break. This dude stay cracking on people. Stay cracking on people. I bet you he ain't even of age to get a promotion at his job yet. Even if he got a job.
You have been formally challenged, James B. You better come with it. But I'm saying the world is this big, so I don't understand when these mega rich cats be talking about I want to be home or I'm not happy in this city. Like, but you really don't even live there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the season, you playing there, you out of town anyway. Like I don't know. I don't understand. I like to travel and I just love being in different places. So maybe that's my problem. I'm a hopeless romantic. I fall in love with every city I go to. So.
I used to work for an airline, and I used to work for an airline.
You ain't been to the trash cities?
We're working for an airline.
The
world is this big because it's super easy to get around, yo. Super easy.
Like Mars, I've literally never spent more than 2 days in a place I don't like. Like there's even a small town in
James
B. And
now what that 20 cost you, brother? That's definitely going to dip into your FICO score. I'm sure of that. I'm sure of that.
That's from the credit card shit.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to dip into his FICO score.
Yeah, go to his credit for the dub.
So you shush. You dudes on here come in. You dudes come on here and y'all talk and y'all come in here completely to just insult me, which I guess I'm the butt of all jokes because I'm older and I don't care. I would like to hear y'all dudes talk basketball, though. I would like to hear that, especially James B in particular.
I think we just want to hear you talk about basketball before it existed. I wanted to know about your experience with James Naismith. That's like
I do not know James Naismith, Mars. I do not. I do not know James Naismith, and I do know that I was around when there was not double netted rims. I was around when that was going on. And short shorts was going on. I was around when that was going on. Yes, I was.
Short shorts trying to come back.
Yes, I was.
They bringing the short shorts back.
Man.
But is nobody going to talk about Donovan Mitchell being a sucker, though? Like, are we just going to gloss over the fact that Donovan Mitchell being a sucker? Like the Knicks,
I think he is, to be honest with you, Damo.
The Knicks wax you in the playoffs. You look embarrassing. You have an embarrassing performance. Now you come out and man, I'm trying to go play with him.
He ain't leaving. He did say he wanted to go to the Knicks.
Exactly. So we're not going to talk about how he a sucker for that?
Well, not Damo, but he was saying that before that, though.
I was just about to ask that, Mars. Is it the same thing?
Nah, because he's been saying this, though. He been saying he wanted to go to New York. Even when he got traded to Cleveland, he was like, I wanted to go to New York.
I feel you. But the competitor in me, for real, I can want to go home and play for the Hornets all I want. The Hornets bust my ass, I'm not going back until I beat you. So there's no more going back and play for the Hornets if I just went out like that. Does
that make him a sucker? He's just not the same as you.
He's a sucker.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
He wanted to be in New York. And he wanted to be in New York. William wanting to be in New York. Him having to get traded there, him not getting traded there, it's obvious that it caused a rift, but he in a great situation in Cleveland. Now I understand the quality of life stuff, but I'm with Ox on this. When you got bread like that, the world is so small, it ain't nothing for me to get. I could actually play. DeMar DeRozan, I don't know if you dudes know this, but DeMar DeRozan is in Toronto. He's in Toronto. His father is dying. He was flying back and forth from Toronto to Los Angeles to take care of his father during the season. This was going on. So if you're in Cleveland and you want to be in New York, that's an hour and a half away. That's nowhere. for you to get there. And you can have an account with Delta Airlines or whoever you want. I just want to move to New York. But if it's a quality of life situation, then when your contract is up in Cleveland, then do that. As opposed to, I'm going to force my way out of Cleveland. I don't think he's doing that, but I'm going to force my way out of Cleveland. I think that's suckerish.
All right, Charlotte. Let's keep it pushing. It obviously is the Miami Heat episode. We don't have as much time as we typically have, but appreciate everybody that's tapped in right now. Like the video if you haven't. We are going to talk about the Miami Heat. We're going to spend a good deal of time talking about the Miami Heat. But in light of this being the Miami Heat episode, somebody sent me this graphic, and I thought it was something solid to start talking about with the Heat. So you got to rewind the clock back to 2006. Got Dirk in the gang, and you got D-Wade, Shaq in the gang. You add two current players. You add Luka to the Dallas Mavericks, and you add Jimmy Butler to that Miami Heat team. How does that finals go?
What?
Miami in 5.
You just add another free throw merchant to a series full of free throw merchants. That's all you've done.
And Jimmy Butler?
Yes.
Mavs in 5. What? What are we talking about?
All right,
You think the
now I
Mavs-
got to
you think
go
the Mavs
around the
beat
room. I
Miami?
got to ask everybody.
Mavs is busting their ass. What?
Hell no. No way.
Absolutely.
Miami in 5, but maybe
The way
6.
D-Wade was
No,
playing?
Miami in 6. Miami in 6.
Yeah, I'll take the Heat in 6. I'm trying to imagine.
Wait, John,
Dirk trying to deal with
who's the best player in the series?
Luka.
Dude.
You're literally adding the best player in this entire series back then and onto that. That's just crazy. Like literally, it goes from D-Wade being the best player because of free throws to now Luka being the best player because of skill. It's crazy. I think.
Wait a minute.
So
Why was he getting to Damo? It wasn't like he was
Luka right now is better than 06 D-Wade.
Yes.
Is Luka
in the NBA
what,
Finals.
what version of Luka? What version of D-Wade is Luka?
Damo don't even believe that. Damo does not believe that. But keep going. Keep going, Miles.
What version of what version of D-Wade is better than Luka, if any?
It was a brief stint between like. As a matter of fact, because I don't want to talk on my ass. So let me bring up.
Sound like you started.
Let me bring up the numbers. Let me bring up the numbers to really make sure I'm talking about
From 6 to 10. From 6 to 10, D-Wade is.
It's a very slim window where like D-Wade was genuinely better than Luka, and that window was
4 seasons.
I'm taking D-Wade 06 in the NBA Finals.
I'm about to say from 2000.
Taking D-Wade 05.
Honestly, it's kind of funny. Right after that, in 2007 to 2009, that's when he was better than Luka. After that and before that, doesn't Luka?
You're also saying Luka is better than peak Dirk Nowitzki as well. That's what we're saying right now. So Luka's already better than Dirk ever was.
So take that statue of Dirk down and just put Luka's face on it.
That's what I was about to say, Ron.
Not at all.
But just start building Luka's statue right next to it.
Start building a bigger statue next to Dirk. That's all you got to do.
What are you basing that on, though, Damo? What are you basing that on, Damo? That at this point, this version of Luka is better than what anything Dirk ever produced.
The eye test.
The good old grand eye test, huh?
Hey man, I learned a little bit ago that if you don't have an argument for something, no one cares as long as you just say the eye test.
Mars been saying that.
When I watch him, Luka looks better. So to me, he passes the eye test.
Can't argue with that. Luka clears. There we go. I still got Miami in 6, but Luka does clear.
That's fair.
When I look at Luka and I look at Dirk is a better athlete. I think he's better in transition. Yes, he's a better athlete. 100% he's a better athlete than Luka. No question about it. He's better in transition. I think he's a better one-on-one player than Luka. He's bigger. He's a better rebounder. Just from the eye test alone. Just from the eye test alone. Yes. Luka is not better than Dirk. No, not at this point.
Ignoring the playmaking aspects is kind of.
No, I'm not ignoring it. I'm not saying that. And again, Mars, you and me, we've already had this conversation about what playmaking is, and it's not just distributing. Mm-hmm. It is not just and I will tell you that Luka is definitely a better distributor. He's responsible for the majority of that offense. Before Irv shows up there, he's responsible for the majority of the offense. But with that being said, overall, when I look at Dirk in transition, his stop and pop game, his one-on-one game, him finishing at the rim. I mean, he is 7 feet. I mean, I from the eye test alone, yeah.
Someone said Dirk's not a better rebounder than Luka. What?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
What?
Yes, he is.
I guess.
Yes, he
You
is.
know how I go more.
Better one-on-one player
That's
is
just
tough.
be
I'm
making shit up.
better one-on-one
is. I mean,
It's not like this, Mars. It's close. It is close. But I think that the separator with Luka and the separator between Luka and Dirk on the block. Dirk has that unguardable one-leg shot that he can go to at any point. What does Luka have that at any point I can get this? And I'm thinking,
he gets to his step back whenever he wants. It's just about whether or not he goes in.
And I'm thinking about this against this Miami Heat team. Like I'm thinking about how difficult it's going to be for them to slow down Dirk. All of those guys, it's going to be difficult to slow them down. But with Dirk shooting the long ball the way he shoots the long ball, being able to get that off at 7 feet, by the way, him being able to shoot the stop and pop in transition, and then getting to the rim. I don't think it's a huge gap, but I do think he's a better one-on-one player.
And you pair that with the 6'7", 6'8" Luka.
Miami did slow down Dirk in that series. In real life.
Later on in the series, they did. Later on
after the first 2 games, they slowed him down. So.
Yeah, later on in the series,
slowed down Dirk. Yes, absolutely. But could they slow down Dirk and Luka?
Hey, so what I want to ask, because I just went back and I looked at that roster, and I love the 3-point shooting around Luka. Luka has a lot to work with, and he has defense around him too. A lot of people forget about Josh Howard at that time. They had Jason Terry when he was really still young and active. Obviously, he was good when they won the championship later on, but this was JT when he was 28 years old. You had Dirk at 27. They had Jerry Stackhouse, and then I don't know if you guys remember Devin Harris. This was kind of his coming out party. I don't know who comes off the bench.
He was another dude who I thought was going to be better too. But
yeah.
He just couldn't shoot the 3. That was one thing. The game kind of fast forwarded beyond him, I think, anyway.
So I don't know who comes off the bench, if it's Jason Terry or if it's Devin Harris, or maybe Josh Howard don't come off the bench. But I don't know. I'm looking at this team. I'm looking at the 3-point shooting. Could this series go kind of like how it went in 2012 or 2011? 11.
Oh,
could it? So
who chokes?
I'm about to say who's choking now. Pause. Is Wade gonna choke now because Jimmy Butler's there? Is Shaq gonna choke now? Is Jimmy going to be the one that chokes? He go back in time to choke?
I don't know. I just heard yesterday he's an overrated playoff performer.
Jimmy's got the willpower, so he would choke. But no, I don't think Jimmy chokes. The reason I think Miami win is because the defenders you're talking about on that Dallas team not moving me. They're not moving me. Dirk, no, definitely not. Josh Howard could play defense, but when you got Dirk, Jason Terry, and Luka on the floor, there's mismatches at every spot. They slowed down Dirk on the other side because Udonis Haslem was actually playing some good defense in that series, and Shaq in the lane made it difficult, blah, blah, blah. But on the other side of the ball, Dwayne Wade is way, way too fast for that Dallas backcourt. They just won't be able to stay in front of him at all. And then the rim protection on Dallas, I mean, if you're relying on Dampier and Diop, I think you're kind of
good luck.
I think you're kind of cooked. That's why I got Miami winning. I just think defensively that Dallas team just doesn't stack up, especially when you add Luka to that team. It's bad all around.
Yo, Ticket.
And Pat
What's good, Playboy?
And Pat Riley out coaches Avery Johnson.
Ticket, I got a graphic on the screen. And essentially what it is rewinding back the clocks to the 06 finals, Dallas versus the Miami Heat. And you add Luka to that Dallas team, and you add Jimmy to that Miami Heat team. What do you think happens?
What still happened? Oh, no, excuse me. I think that the Dallas Mavs win the series.
Based on what, Ticket?
Based on your king.
Oh, he ain't on the crew. Ticket. Look at the graphic. We ain't talking about James.
My bad.
Straight.
Okay. I thought that was him with the headband on. Okay, that's Jimmy. Okay.
But hold on, no ticket. Hold on. Wait.
No. We don't need to talk about LeBron. No.
Stick to the.
All right. We'll stick with 06. But just know, 11 they would have beat him too with Luka.
Yeah, Luka no win. I think Luka helps get them over the hump, over Jimmy. I think Luka does a little bit more than Jimmy as far as scoring and facilitating, and I think that helps. I think Shaq was older at that point. If Shaq was a little bit younger, I would have picked Shaq in them because I thought they wouldn't have a matchup for Shaq. Period. But the fact that Shaq he was older at that time. I can't really ride with him on that one. So I gotta go with the Mavs, man. I think the Mavs will Luka and them get it done.
So you got Luka is Luka the primary ball handler on this crew? Because Devin Harris is a ball handler. You gotta get Dirk involved, but how much better is Dirk? Like Damo just said, how much better is Dirk with now Luka playmaking for him and making plays for him? How much better is he? But I can say the same thing with Buckets. How much better is Buckets with D Wade making plays for him? Because if we remember, he was on that crew in Chicago, and they were on their way to doing something special. Rondo ended up getting hurt.
Well, I just think that if he's off the ball, to be honest with you, more Chilltown, I think that hurts his game. Because with a guy like Wade,
whose game ticket?
I'm talking about Jimmy's, because I think Jimmy does need the ball a little bit more to be who he has shown us he is in Miami. You know what I'm saying? We've seen in situations where if he isn't like the main guy, he doesn't always have the same full impact like he did when he was my bad. It's pouring down raining, but my bad. But he doesn't have the same impact as he did with Miami. Or if you look at him with Chicago, he was good, coming up. Let's say when he was playing with Derrick Rose. But since D Rose was that guy and was ball dominant as well, Jimmy was forced to take a back seat. And I think he would have to do the same with D Wade at that point. I think that older D Wade, you can make an argument for that. But that younger D Wade, he would have dominated the ball a little bit more. I don't think he would have did what he did for LeBron James for Jimmy Butler.
But when I think about Jimmy Butler in a lesser role, he still is productive, though. He still is productive, Ticket. And D Wade is good enough and smart enough, just like Shaq is, especially on that crew, because Shaq did the same thing with D Wade. He's smart enough that if Jimmy, once he got going, because Udonis is the dirty word guy, once Jimmy got going, D Wade would back off. Shaq would get in more involved. And once Jimmy got going, they would have no answer for him. And he's one of those players that once he gets going, he's impossible.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you on that. I just think that Luka fits more, man. The way that they play, I think that Dirk and Luka would fit better. Their whole team would have a better fit for the international flavor and stuff like that, just how they click better. I just think that they'll be better, man. I seen Luka almost beat Kawhi and the Clippers by himself, basically. So when I say that, when you add him onto a guy like Dirk, and Dirk can pretty much play with anybody, I just think that, with the chemistry they had, shooting from Jason Terry, you had the inside presence as far as the block shots and the rebounding. Yeah, man, I go with the Mavs. They already won 2 games in that series, I think. So
yeah, they did.
And they were up. Series. Yeah, they were up. So yeah, I think with Luka, yeah, man, I don't think. Nah, they not doing that with Luka on that squad, man. Not with Luka we seeing now.
I think that defense is just cooked.
What about the Miami defense, though? When you break down, you got Gary Payton, Dwayne Wade, Jimmy Butler, a young Udonis.
He was old though. See, that's the thing.
Gary Payton.
He wasn't the glove.
GP was old. GP was old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, I take that stuff into equation. Like you talking about different, like, you know what I'm saying? If you saying in their prime, okay, that's different. You saying everybody's in their prime, but at that time they won that championship. Shaq wasn't in his prime. Gary wasn't in his prime. Twan Walker wasn't in his prime. Those guys were a little over the hill. D Wade had to carry a lot of the load. But then a guy like Jimmy, would D Wade have done the same thing for Jimmy that he did for LeBron? Would he have seen Jimmy in that same way? Jimmy to me is at his best when he's able to orchestrate and do everything he's been able to do for the last couple of years in Miami.
Yeah, definitely would be an interesting series. If we had a time clock or time travel machine, that would be something I'd love to go see. But we got super chats, fellas.
I wouldn't play around with that time travel. You want to be watching the movies? You go back and you change one wrong thing, that butterfly effect.
One thing changes everything, brother. One thing changes everything.
Maybe that's why Captain America didn't change anything when he went back and lived his life.
That's a fact, Mars. That's a fact. Damos tried to put the racism.
Maybe that's why Captain America ain't stop anything, because he's like, that butterfly effect is real. He's seen the movies. I get it now.
Alan R said it's Dub's fault if we being for real. In terms of the show starting late, see, Alan knows what's going on behind the scenes. Me and Alan, we be talking and stuff like that. So he knows. Y8MS with an early super chat. Y'all can read it. Early Cofield said, I sent that DM yesterday. Ronald, real Heat fan.
You ain't gonna send him the link?
Damn. Oh, wrong. Damn.
We talking. We got some up our sleeves. He might come up here and cook y'all today, just depending on how things go. Drink More Water said, how come when it comes to stars from smaller market, contracts are up? The media only talk about what teams should trade for them, mostly to big market teams like LA, New York, Miami, instead of wanting them to stay put.
Because they don't stay put. They bounce. That's the problem.
And the media is not going to talk about the Indiana Pacers, so they just rather the stars go to the big teams and talk about. Which is why I don't know why people still pay attention to them. But what can I say?
Brack sent through a super chat and said, I know Chill was pissed when we switched from the barter system to money.
What was that like?
I wasn't.
I'd be quite annoyed. You used to have to pay for things with salt. Now it's real money. Crazy.
Early Cofield said Mars weighs 230 pounds and he's 14. Laugh aloud, man. You got to stop.
It's actually 245, but I don't blame you for not.
Can't hear you, Big Ox. You muted.
Oh, no. I know. It's all good.
Okay, my fault.
Yeah. 245, but that's close enough. That's a decent eye test that he wasn't too far off.
Early with another super chat. He's dominating the super chat realm right now. He said, Chill with the clean face, look like a 50-year-old Rondo.
Hey, somebody else love it. So even all the old jokes, let me tell you, they're getting old. They corny. Y'all dudes come in here with the old jokes. They corny. They all are. Because I'm still better looking than half y'all parents. How about that?
Yeah.
Wyatt MS said, what's up, Creamtown Hoops? How you been, bro? Life good?
Hey, man. Cholesterol is down. Blood pressure down. Credit score is up. Life is good, brother.
Yeah, age is up.
You know what age up? You know what age up mean, Mars? I'm still ticking, brother. That's what it means.
Facts.
Beats the alternative.
Can it? No way. Nah, hell nah. Nah, you don't got the chopsticks right now.
I can't eat in peace, bro.
He got the chopsticks out. I fucking love Big Ox. He's so loud.
For me eating peace, bro.
All right. I got you. What's that? That's a Dentai Funk?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Kenneth Paris said, why is the chat so obsessed with weight? I know 90% of y'all overweight. Let's be honest. Mars is 14. The fuck?
Facts. Body shaming a child is kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I might have body issues now when I grow up because of you guys. I don't appreciate that.
Cyberbullying.
Yeah, it's hurting my feelings, guys. Please
drink more water with the question. He said, would you consider Jason Kidd athletic?
Super athletic, yes.
Hell yeah.
That sounds like a trap question. Because that's a rhetorical question. Everybody know that. So
there was a major debate going on Open Gym about what constitutes athleticism and stuff. I guess I don't know if that's what it's referring to. But
what conclusion did you guys come to?
Apparently, we was agreeing, but just going around in circles about whether or not conditioning is a part of athleticism or not, or endurance and stuff. I said yes. Apparently, everyone else said yes, but then we were arguing about how much does it weigh into when you consider someone athletic, if conditioning is a major factor or just a minor thing that everyone is like a basic requirement, basically. I think it's a major thing. Some people think it's a minor thing. That was the conversation, basically.
Hey, also too though, we got to also remember we do have like a lot of younger viewers who probably saw some of these cats like towards the end of their career, so they might not know about like a lot of the athleticism that they had when they first came around.
Right.
Yeah, Jason Kidd's athletic.
Jason Kidd was a ridiculous athlete.
Yeah.
He wasn't playing above the rim like Russell Westbrook or Dwayne Wade or nothing like that. But getting up and down the floor, no, it wasn't. I couldn't name many better than him. I couldn't.
Very strong too.
Yes, strong as an ox. 6'4". He was about 210, 215 pounds. Run like a deer. Handle the ball with the best of them, and he was the best in transition more than anything. I mean, he was great in the half court, but in transition, just as an athlete, he's blowing by guys.
Yo, chill. Because I know a lot of people are high on Luka, and we're currently seeing Luka right now. Yep. If you could start a franchise with the Dallas Mavericks, would you go with Luka, who's also a big guard, more scoring prowess, or would you go with Jason Kidd, who's more of a traditional point guard? From what you've seen
in today's game,
yeah,
I think Jason Kidd is more conducive to today's game because he's going to take shots. Jason Kidd ended up putting the 3-ball in his game, and he was more efficient later on in his career. I would build my team around Jason Kidd more than I build my team around Luka because he defends at a high level too.
So it's the defense that moves you, Damo?
Yes.
Yeah, if we're focused on defense, then absolutely. If defense is something you're worried about, absolutely, then it makes sense. I just know a lot of people don't care about defense in today's NBA. So if you're looking at it from that aspect, then it's like, I mean, Luka is still giving you a high level of passing and a high level of playmaking. So as long as you put the right pieces around him, I think that he definitely would be a willing passer if he respects the guys around him. I think he's like a foreign Kobe in that way. We're gonna see it when he's playing with Kyrie this year. Like if he respects you, he will definitely play within the system and give you the ball. But if he don't, my name is Luka fucking Doncic, and I'm a bucket. Like I'm gonna do it since no one else wants to do it. That's at least the vibe I get from him. I could be wrong though.
Hey, honorable in the chat, can you tell people what I'm lying about? Because like when I hear the word capping, that's a lie, right? Ain't that what that is? That's a lie. So what am I lying about when I feel like Jason Kidd is better than Luka? What am I lying about? He is a better defender.
That's the separator. I'm going
to say, yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought the worst thing I could have to look in the chat because now he's on your ass 24.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sense of what I'm lying about. Because to lie is to intentionally deceive somebody. That's what the definition of lying is. And you replace lying with capping, right? So again, what am I quote unquote capping about?
I think we need to go back to a time before Chill knew what the chat was. It was
do I need to get out the chat? Because I can do that.
Don't save them now. Don't save them now. They're done fucked up.
I will leave as quickly as I could get in something. That's how quick I can get out of it too.
You feel me? All right, y'all. Early Cofield with another super chat said, "Damn, Chill.
Are you sure about that, Phil?"
Say it again.
He said what he said, man. He's standing on it.
You said as quick as you can get in.
As quickly as I can get in something. That's how quick I can get out of it.
Does that reply? Does that would that I guess reflect on if Taylor Rooks was here too?
I don't know her like that. Because I've seen plenty of hold on, Ron. Because I've seen plenty of chicks, I've seen plenty of chicks that on the surface they look like a 10, but they open up their mouth and look like somebody hit them in the face with a frying pan. So I don't know what type of chick she is, but on the surface, hearing her talk, she look like a dope chick. I don't know if y'all gonna vibe though.
Yo, fellas, we gotta make a quick
we focus.
transition.
Focus.
We got a special guest up here. and she has some agendas that she has to push. How you doing?
H Boogie in the house.
Hey, look. We got a dub host in the building, and we got an L host in the building.
H Boogie in the house.
That is true, Ron. But what's up, you guys? I just wanted to pop in and say we are starting a new show, a Warriors show, with Gifted and KB. So for all of you guys that love the Warriors, all the guys that hate the Warriors, you guys got to come through. Make sure to support. It's going to be on Sunday at 12 to 2 Pacific time. So yeah, so I just wanted to drop that and also say what's up to you guys. I haven't seen Mars in a while. Jay, I saw you last night. What's up, Bob? Damo.
H Boogie.
What's up, H? Now look, Hailey, I got mad love for you, Hailey. I do. You know that already.
Mm-hmm.
But this is getting out of hand.
Oh yeah. It's bad though. Hey, it's not my fault they don't want to start a King show because let's be honest, no one would show up for that. So I'm sorry, Bob, but
yeah, I expected that. I expected that.
No, of course. And I know the Lakers show is going on. We think we got a Bulls show starting. So hey, it's gonna be good. Get our fan base.
Bulls show.
What?
We just going back in time, I guess.
Is that true? Maybe I made that up. I'm not sure, but
maybe. I think you might be on the sub.
Yeah, but before I go, I'm only here for a little bit, but I did want to ask, since we're on topic, what are you guys thinking about the Warriors this season? Any thoughts? I know I asked you last night, Jay, but with the Dwight Howard thing, that could drop any day now. What are you guys thinking?
I mean, as long as Chris Paul is a starter on the Warriors, that dynasty's over. So that's what I'm thinking about that one. If Chris Paul's the starting point guard on the Warriors and Steph is the starting shooting guard, yeah.
Some would say that's what Atkinson should have been all along. Some would say
is Chris Paul a terrorist on his crew?
Yes,
double agent.
As a starter, he's a terrorist. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, Mars. I know you're ex-Warriors fan. What are you now?
I think it's crazy that Warriors show begins when I'm no longer a fan of the team, but I see how PC's doing me. It's cool. But I agree with the Chris Paul thing. He should not be starting. I saw Fluent say the dynasty was over the moment they missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
Not sure I agree with that take. That was weird.
The divorce analogy he used.
Yeah. I didn't really get that, but I mean,
I've tried reasoning, but that's just his perspective on how dynasties work. So in that case, I guess there haven't been any dynasties that have lasted too long, but I get it though.
That was kind of weird to me, but I'll be very, very surprised if they manage to make another deep postseason run. I think Klay Thompson's done. Chris Paul is Chilltown's age, going to get hurt, and at this point, it's kind of Stephen vibes. So yeah, I'm not expecting too much. But
in basketball years, yes, he actually might be older than me, Mars. In basketball years,
don't push it.
No, he might be older than me in basketball years, brother, for real.
But yeah, I'm not too high on Golden State, but I'm not very happy with PC for making a Warriors show the moment I stopped being a Warriors fan. But
yeah, I mean they're testing you. We're testing you, Mars, and you failed. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Mars, you ever went back to your ex house?
No comment.
Don't double back, Mars. I'm trying to tell you, don't do that.
Don't
do that. But as far as the dynasty though, I think the window's starting to shut, but Steph Curry's still alive and kicking, so anything's possible. Anything's possible with Steph Curry. So.
Yeah.
Hailey, do you think you guys are going to win the championship?
Every season, of course I do. I just think,
but
I will, and completely unbiased. When we look at what happened last season, the team was hanging on by a thread. Steph was the one that even got past Sacramento. I'll be honest. Like Sacramento was by far, I think, the better team. They just didn't have Steph Curry. So I think that it's possible if they had maybe scouted out like maybe a younger big to kind of help out. Like Jay was talking about last night, Dwight is just maybe not that fit. I think it can still help coming off the bench, but is he that guy who's really going to come in and change the system? Probably not. But it's Steph. If Steph can be on his A game, if Klay can do his thing, if Draymond doesn't create too many issues, I think there's always a chance. I'm never going to rule him out. But just with the Bucks and now the Nuggets and the Kings, like these younger teams that are just getting better. The Celtics, like it's probably less likely than it ever has been. But I'm
Why are we
still
not talking about Andrew Wiggins though? And then all of a sudden, is Kevon Looney just not there anymore?
No.
If James
I
Wiseman
think they have
comes
two
out,
other young, adequate stars or
They-
starters.
They do.
Starters.
They do.
Well,
They're not
Looney's
old.
28.
He's not old.
That's not young.
It's not old either.
That's just but it's not
Younger.
In your prime. What are we talking about, Mars? If I'm 28, I probably got 6,
That's
7
not
more
young.
years at this level.
Young players is like Kaminga. He's a young player. We're not talking.
That's like
young.
Yeah, but that's like before your peak or your prime. You know.
Yeah,
like,
that's what a young player is. Like,
I don't know.
They got
to
two
you
starters
it's
in their
young,
prime.
yes, because that's like half your age. But
No,
me,
28. When I
is
think about
old.
28, you in your prime. 28 is not old.
Yeah,
No.
You probably got 6,
the
7
only
more
options
years
in
at this
life
level.
aren't old and young. That's not the only two options in life. It's not either you're old or you're young. There's the in between. He's in the in between phase. He's middle aged.
He is not middle-aged.
Middle age at 27, 28 is
For
crazy.
NBA life
NBA
expectancy,
players,
is he
no,
not
he's
middle
not.
aged?
No, Jordan
He's
was not
middle-aged
middle-aged when they
for
won the
NBA.
NBA
He's
championship
middle-aged
at
for the
28
NBA.
years old. Shaq was not middle-aged when they won the NBA championship at 28 years old. He wasn't.
For NBA life expectancy, 28 is middle aged.
I could say like 28, 29 maybe is middle age, but like because they can play into their 30s.
No,
So
35 is mid. 34
old.
is mid.
Steph is not middle aged. He's an old NBA player. He's old.
No, Chris Paul is an old NBA player.
And Steph's going to be 36 this season, and Chris Paul's what, 38,
No,
39?
he'll be
It's
36
like 2 year
next
difference.
year. Next year.
Yeah, he's like 35 and a half right now. That's old.
I think what? So when you get to like 34,
LeBron was 35 in 2020. You're not
Yeah.
about to tell me he wasn't
That's
an
fair.
old player. He was old.
I
All right,
think
you guys.
34 is the number.
Well, I have to go. I just wanted to jump on for a little bit. And yes, so promo of the show, everybody in the chat, what's up? Definitely come through
W
on
plug.
Sunday. W plug.
H
W plug.
Boogie.
And you guys are all.
When does the show start?
It starts.
When can we see it?
This next Sunday. Yes, I know football is going to be on, but you know, you can have one eye on the game, one ear on our show. So that's probably how we're going to run it until NBA season starts. So should be good though. But yeah, I appreciate you letting me come on, and I hope you guys all have a good rest of your show.
We'll catch you soon.
Later, H Boogie.
Yo,
Bye,
can we get a
guys.
flex? Can we get a flex, Harley?
Bye, guys.
Damn, no.
Hailey, what's up,